We have to, at this point, cross over to Cape Town. We said as soon as the Minister was going to address the mining indaba, we would take that live. It's a very, very important one. She's there. Let's cross over. Here's the South African Minister of Mining, Susan Shabangu.
The mining indaba has contributed significantly in attracting the appropriate attention to the potential of African mining investment and development. And this session is taking place as democratic South Africa will be celebrating 20 years of freedom and 2 decades of democracy. Since 1994, we have established a society based on non-racial democratic values, the rule of law, the supremacy of the Constitution, social justice, and respect for human rights, including the commitment to address the adverse socioeconomic conditions brought about by past discrimination. These sentiments were expressed by the global icon, one and only Nelson Mandela, whom I want to quote during his inauguration address. I quote, "Our single most important challenges is therefore to help establish a social order in which the freedom of the individuals will truly mean the freedom of the individual. We must construct that people-centered society of freedom in such a manner that it guarantees the political liberties and the human rights of all our citizens," close quote. May his soul rest in peace. We owe Madiba and his generation of liberators. We do not let them down. We do not let our own people down, and also those abroad who believed in us and stood with us through the dim days of apartheid. People ask questions about our future. That is their right, even if we feel confident and secure about answers. We do so because of our track records in the stewardship of our economy, including, amongst others, access to global technology and capital markets unfolding so rapidly before our eyes. As government, working together with our stakeholders and investors, we are resolute in our determination to build the country of our dreams that inspire confidence for our continued development. This is corroborated by the Global Competitiveness Report that reflects South Africa's considerable progress in this regard. For instance, the latest World Economic Forum report indicates that out of 148 countries evaluated, South Africa ranks first in the strength of auditing and reporting standards, efficacy of corporate boards, protection of minority shareholders' interests, legal rights index, and regulation of securities exchange. The report also places us second on availability of financial services and financing through local equity market, third on soundness of banks, 10th on strength of investor protection, 16th on effect of taxation on incentive to investing, and 20th on property rights. Meanwhile, the Open Budget Index, undertaken by the Washington-based International Budget Partnership, also rates the country second on transparency and accountability of its budgeting processes. Despite these strides, we are not complacent about the various areas that still require more efforts and improvement. However, these indices must provide confidence to the investment community that indeed, not only does South Africa provide an attractive mining destination, but it also provides a globally competitive environment that protects investment. We have come a long way in evolution of the post-apartheid mining regulation reforms, which was started when the ruling party first developed the Ready-to-Govern document in 1992 and culminated in the country's white paper on minerals and mining policy. The Minerals and Petroleum Resources Development Act is a product of tripartism that has come to characterize the culture of this industry. The post-apartheid regulatory framework has unleashed the potent potential for the mining industry of the future, transformed ownership patterns, diversified mining, created employment, as well as ended the century-old male-dominated of the industry. Further, The number of mines in operation has increased exponentially, as well as the corresponding revenue generated, while women mine workers grew from an insignificant number to 10% currently. Building on the continuum and jurisprudence of the democratic government, the current administration developed and implemented strategy for sustainable growth and meaningful transformation of South Africa's mining industry. The main objective of such strategy sought to place the country's industry along a trajectory of sustainable growth. This strategy identified, among others, limited infrastructure as one of the binding constraints, and accordingly, the Presidential Infrastructure Coordinating Commission, chaired by our President, President Zuma, has been established and committed over 820 billion rand in investments. Mining infrastructure requirements feature prominently in the PICC in order to further unlock the known mineral development potentials, such as the Waterberg coal resource, as well as the manganese and iron ore in the Northern Cape. This bears testimony to government's commitment to supporting further growth and development of the industry. And this year is the 10th year of continuous implementation of major regulatory reform introduced through the Minerals Petroleum Development Act. The introduction of MPRDA as a mining law in 2004 took all of us into uncharted territories. The MPRDA vested custodianship of mineral resources with the state, created an enabling environment for growth and the basis for transformation of the industry, promoted orderly development of the nation's mineral resources, provided for equitable access to nation's mineral and petroleum resources, and introduced the global trailblazer notion of social license to operate through social and labor plans as well as the mining charter. However, the decade-long implementation window has provided us with the benefit of hindsight. In this regard, MPRDA bill, which has been a subject of public debate for over the last 3 years, is currently being finalized through our parliamentary process, and we are confident that it will be concluded during the tenure of the current legislature. The MPRDA bill will not create an uncertain regulatory regime, but on contrary, the bill seeks to inter alia optimize mining, minerals, and upstream petroleum development in South Africa, strengthen its content in order to further enhance and continue creating a conducive environment for investments, growth, and job creation, improve the ease of doing business in the industry by, amongst others, streamlining and integrating mining, environment, and water authorization processes. This process commits government to a turnaround time of up to 300 days for a mining or prospecting right, balance business needs with national development imperatives, enable synergies among mining rights holders operating within a district municipality to optimize community development, address loopholes identified in various constitutional court judgments, such as outlining detailed consultation processes, further entrenches and augment the principle of security of tenure as integral part of South Africa's mining regulatory framework, and promote the mineral value addition of South Africa's mineral. With regard to mineral value addition, the provision enables the game-changing of a win-win value proposition for local processing of minerals. Continued exploitation of unprocessed minerals denies the South Africa the possibility for skilled employment, skills development, and contribution to the fiscus needed to address our developmental imperatives. Let me reiterate once more my previous messages on our intention of our mining, that no company will be required to beneficiate or is forced to subsidize the manufacturing industry. The MPRDA also provides modalities for state participation in the development of the upstream petroleum industry. We have consulted extensively on the bill, and we are confident that it provides a predictable, stable, and global competitiveness mining legislation that promotes investment, inclusive growth, development, and transformation. The year 2014 is also marked the 10th years of implementation of the Mining Charter, which is also a subject for review. But also let me caution, it does not mean we're once more introducing uncertainty. We are also trying to make sure that the Mining Charter becomes relevant, but it continues to be a living document within our transformation agenda. I must commend the bulk of mining companies who have voluntarily supported the evaluation of progress in the implementation of the Mining Charter, which is being carried out by the department. May I encourage all stakeholders to cooperate with the department to ensure that this process of national importance is successfully finalized. The findings of the evaluation will assist in the review process of the Mining Charter. Let me emphasize that transformation of the economy generally and the mining industry specifically should not be misconstrued as an event, but this is a journey, and that transformation remains at the center of development in South Africa. I have established that some of the companies have designed interim transformation solutions that will end this year, with expectations that 2014 would mark the end of transformation. Nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, transformation remains an imperative government and must be seen as business imperative in the South African context. It's a journey for all of us. It's about internalizing transformation. It's about the change of our society. As I say, transformation is a societal imperative to redress centuries of deliberation, exclusion of the black majority from the mainstream economy. There can be no sustainable mining and growth of this industry without going to the very heart of transformation. As a result, we have agreed with industry to progressively increase resource allocation for skills development to reach and sustain 5% of payroll. Skills development includes artisans training and support for increasing the pool of engineers. Ladies and gentlemen, as government, we are excited about the major game-changing discoveries of untapped potential for petroleum development, spanning both offshore and onshore, including shale gas. In respect of shale gas, the geological indicates a potential for 485 trillion cubic feet resource of shale gas trapped in the Karoo formations. We have published the technical regulations for the development of shale gas for public comment, and the final regulations will be released shortly. Once more, we hope those who have application will hear from us soon. We will move ahead decisively, yet responsibly, with the exploration of shale gas, and to unleash its potential contribution to, amongst others, cost-competitive energy security, employment creation, and a range of other latent benefits to the country. We are also nurturing the development of our nascent offshore oil and gas prospects. We welcome a number of multinationals that have expressed interest in the development of this resource. We cannot emphasize enough the need for South Africans to have a fair share from the development of their natural resources. The health and safety of mine workers, as we are here today, ladies and gentlemen, is a hallmark of human dignity. In this regard, there has been significant improvement in the health and safety of mine workers since former President Mandela established the Leon Commission of Inquiry. This substantial improvement is part of our commitment towards achieving zero harm. I will soon be releasing the details of the health and safety performance of the mining industry. Meanwhile, the Mine Health and Safety is being amended to strengthen provisions that further encourage best practice relating to the impact that mining activities have on the health and safety of mine workers and affected communities. We published the bill last year and subsequently received substantive input from our stakeholders. We are confident that the bill will be presented to the next Parliament for processing. When we look at current headlines, they tend to focus exclusively on such issues as labor instability. As government, we have intervened boldly and decisively to provide leadership and restore stability in the sector. All stakeholders committed to a peace and stability framework, and subsequently, the Deputy President-led process secured participation of stakeholders through the Framework Agreement for Sustainable Mining Industry. The initiatives such as the establishment of mine crime combating forums are already operational. I would like to implore all stakeholders to continue to work together to ensure that peace and stability prevails. I can confidently declare that we have restored the rule of law, peace and stability in this industry. These developments debunk the myth that labor laws in South Africa lack flexibility and are only created to protect workers. Conversely, our Constitution provides the right of workers to strike within the prescriptions of the law, while simultaneously provides employers with the legal recourse to balance either extremes. The gold industry recently demonstrated that there are sufficient checks and balances for both workers and recourse for employers. All of us must take responsibility in ensuring that the rule of law reigns supreme in the country and the industry. We must commend our stakeholders, especially organized labor and organized business, for heeding the call for operating within the parameters of the law.
All right, there you go. That's the Minister of Mining Resources here in South Africa, Susan Shabangu, speaking at the Mining Indaba. So just tune in for our main news bulletins to get I suppose, a revised version of exactly what it was that she was saying there.